In the original series, Agent Cooper stayed at the Great Northern in room 315. In this new series, he came out of the electrical socket in episode or part 3, and now he jams a fork into the socket in episode or part 15. 315. Lynch and Frost are insane geniuses. Welcome to the initial reaction video to Twin Peaks episode 15. What is tonight's episode called, Hal?
It's called There's Some Fear in Letting Go.
Oh, there's definitely some fear in letting go. I'm fearing what we're all gonna feel 3 weeks from now when there's no more Twin Peaks on the next Sunday. All right, so my co-hosts tonight are Hal. How's it going?
Good, Cameron. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. It was a wonderful episode. And over here we have Chaz making his return. How's it going?
Hey, Cameron. Hey, Hal.
Hey, Chaz.
I'm so happy you're here, Chaz, because you're usually not able to join these things because you're usually asleep.
Yes, yes, East Coast style, 9 o'clock p.m.
Yeah, me too. I'm on the East Coast too, so yeah, I get it.
So, all right, first things first. I don't know what it was like for you guys, but for me, Showtime's live feed was exceptionally poor tonight. I could barely make out some of the imagery. It wasn't just the fact that it was pure daylight outside, and so some of the dark scenes get, overshadowed with that. But a lot of it, I don't know. Did you guys have any picture quality problems?
I did not. No, my feed was fine.
Okay, all right.
I did not. But it's interesting you bring that up because I've got a 7.1 surround sound system, and the audio quality was a little different tonight for me.
How so?
It sounded muffled. Like nothing really sounded as it has before. So I don't know. I don't know what that means.
The only time I thought it was muffled was some of that dialogue with Steven and Gerson was a bit unintelligible, but I don't know if that was intentional or not.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I turned on the subtitles for that scene.
Good, because I'll have to ask you what all he said.
Well, I turned it on halfway through, so I didn't get everything. But
that
anyway.
Makes me think you might have had an issue with. There might have been an issue with the episode.
Well, there is people in the chat saying that they had similar problems as well, so it just may have affected different people. And I live in an area where there is high streaming internet, like everywhere. Like there's no issues with the internet unless there's like a real problem somewhere. So I don't know. Anyway, overall, without getting into details, I thought this was again another exceptional episode. Did you guys think so as well?
Absolutely, very emotional.
What about you, Chaz?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, as I've always said, I think that we are being blessed with this. The fact that there's even a season 3 and the fact that everything is directed by Lynch, it is just a masterpiece.
Well, let's see how it ends.
Nope.
I'm a real sap, so I actually had tears like 3 times during the episode. Very sappy. I kind of burst into tears during the first segment with Big Ed and Norma.
All right, we'll get to that in a second. We're gonna get to that in a second. But if you guys are watching live, thank you very much for watching. We are on one of our alternative channels tonight, broadcasting live. Just so you know, when this video is finished, it's not going to go up on the main channel. It's going to go to our actual new home, which you can find here. So make sure to subscribe to this platform, and you can follow our videos and uploads there. All right. Okay, so yeah, I thought this was a great episode. I mean, but obviously there's definitely things to discuss. We can't just say everything's great, 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 and then say good night, everybody.
Right.
So begins with the black and white and red Rancho Rosa logo again. It seemed like, I could be wrong, but it seemed like the same one from last week.
It was exactly the same as last week, which to me is a good sign. I like those episodes.
Yeah, we are definitely in the home stretch here. I can't believe we only have 2 more weeks left.
That's unbelievable.
You know what else is unbelievable?
I love that the 2-part finale is right in front of a holiday.
That's true.
Yes,
me too. I'm off. I got a 2-week vacation starting
starting
Friday. So I'm like the last 2 nights I'm going to be on vacation. I can totally immerse.
I'm upset this part was only 60 minutes long because I was being told that it was like 70 minutes earlier this week. So I was like, dang. But because I thought this episode almost warranted an extra 10 minutes of screen time. There was so much going on in it. Okay, so it begins with, the woods, the trees, the mountains, familiar sights. And Nadine is, walking down the street carrying one of Dr. Amp's shovels. And she walks up to Big Ed's gas farm and kind of confronts Ed, which kind of confirms that they are still together, that he never left her after the end of season 2. Because when he was sitting there at the end of, was it like 2 episodes ago, when he was sitting there and everyone was talking about the reflections not matching, it seemed like he was like alone. It didn't seem like he was married at all.
But he was there, he was lonely in their relationship there, so. True.
So Nadine tells him, I guilted you, I manipulated you, basically go be with Norma. And she says that listening to Dr. Amp he's the only one in this area that tells it like it is. Which it scares me, because if he gets possessed by a woodsman and starts shouting things over his web show, this is the water, this is the well, this scares me. That the show's going to end with everyone just laying there with giant frog moss crawling in their mouths or something.
Right. What scared me was when she was walking up the street with that shovel, I thought she's going to bludgeon Big Ed in the head with it.
Right. Yeah, because when she's like Big Ed or Ed, when he turned, I thought she was just going to clobber him.
I thought so too. And then what a shift. And it was just so beautiful. I loved that scene.
So then we go to the double R.
Oh, you forget.
Go ahead.
Please don't overlook the fact that Otis Redding's I've Been Loving You for So Long.
Right.
The song that goes through that.
Right.
And when I heard that, I tried to find a connection between Otis Quincy Jones, right, with Norma.
Right.
And I couldn't find one. But what a perfect song to be playing during that. And it actually cuts out. It like fades away at one point, and then it comes back, and it was just amazing editing. I mean, it just beautiful.
Yeah, no, I wasn't gonna leave that out. Don't worry, Chaz. I was just saying that Ed shows up and says to Norma, "Hey, we can be together," and she's like, "Oh, Walter's here," and of course that throws us because we're thinking, because from the previous episode it seemed like her and Walter were kind of an item,
right?
And now it's kind of clarifying that he kind of had romantic eyes for her, but not her for him. I guess. I don't know.
I mean, who wouldn't?
They had a business relationship. She was probably just, a sweet woman. He's the one that was more attracted to her, obviously, but she was just being kind because they were in a business situation,
True.
Guys always misread that sometimes.
And Norma starts talking about how she wants to go take care of her family. And he says, well, you don't have family, which kind of goes off Mark Frost's book in terms of, her mom's dead and there's no mention of Annie. But right when she starts going into detail about her family, cut away.
Right.
And that was obvious because obviously we need to know, how's Annie?
They're teasing us.
They are definitely teasing us.
Amazing.
And then and Ed just like sitting there with his eyes closed and just kind of almost taking in and meditating in this whole situation.
Or dreaming of downing a cyanide pill.
Yeah. And then
coffee.
And then her hand comes on his shoulder and, it's very sweet. He turns around and says, marry me. And, she's like, of course I will. And it's great. It is a great scene.
Lovely.
Okay. I'm not arguing that. I love this scene. Here's my only thing about it.
Stop it, Cameron. Stop it. See, I'm crying. I'm in tears at this point. So you're going to get cynical on me.
No.
Okay. All right.
Okay, listen, this scene by itself is great. I love it. However, I've seen this scene before. It happened with 6 episodes to go in season 2 when Ed just walks into the Double R and grabs Norma after Hank has been arrested, and Nadine allows Ed to go off, and he proposes to Norma right there in the Double R diner. Mm-hmm. And then they're together for the next six episodes until Nadine wakes up again. Are we to assume now that 25 years has gone by as kind of, everything's like been at the same level, nothing's changed, and then Ed's going to redo this scene from season 2, more or less, and I don't know. I mean, to me, I'm super happy for them, but I was super happy for them in that scene too, in season 2. And then they pulled the rug out from me and had Nadine wake up.
Right. And then they almost did that again, with Walter coming in, and then it turned around. It's like Lynch has given us a happy ending to the Ed and Norma story. But
we had a happy ending to the Ed and Norma story in season 2. That's what I'm saying. And they kind of redid the same scene in a different way. It's still a great scene, but it's just like, it's 25 years later. I would think Norma's like, you had your chance. Yeah. But no, I mean, they spun it around, which is, I mean, it's great. It's wonderful. I'm just saying that I wish they had figured out a different venue for it, maybe, just because I had flashbacks.
I think it was designed that way to kind of call back, because I mean, Nadine even saying Ed, you big lug, and all that stuff. It's all like callbacks to that. It's echoes of the past, but
Yeah, I agree.
Listen, I want to make it very clear to all the people screaming at me right now in the chat that I'm not criticizing the scene. I really like the scene. I'm just saying it. I was like doing compare contrasts with that other scene of season 2. That's all.
Yeah. I think this is where the 25-year gap really works in its favor, because it gives you that emotional resonance across the decades, across the years, and it just gives you that beautiful payoff. Like I said, I'm very sappy when it comes to the Lynch love stuff, and I
understand, and I am too, and that's why the scene works for people like us.
Yeah,
but it would not work at all for new viewers who have no investment in these characters whatsoever, because in this new series we've had no investment in these characters. It's because we're carrying this baggage with us.
But new viewers aren't watching this show.
No, so. I'm just saying, if anybody new was watching, it doesn't mean anything.
Nobody is.
Yeah.
I thought it was I thought it was beautiful because of that too. The callback, and we finally get Big Ed and Norma back together. I mean, it was beautiful. We hope. Well, just in a scene. Like, we get them back together in a scene.
Well, they were sitting in that booth together a couple episodes ago when Bobby's came in, started talking about his dad. He got that thing from his dad that day.
Yeah.
So
I don't see Lynch turning it around. That shot of the blue sky holding it there. That's the ribbon. That's the bow on that.
I agree. I loved the blue skies. And in fact, I was thinking that maybe this is how naive I am sometimes when I watch Lynch stuff. When Ed and Norma were together and the blue skies were happening, I was thinking, is this kind of setting Twin Peaks back to normal again? Like I thought maybe it was going to be, one more thing to kind of bring some sanity back to this town.
I think it is. Yeah. It's like all we needed was a robin.
That's it. Huh. So we go from blue skies and happiness to electricity and telephone wires again. Yeah. And then we get
shifting that mood in the way only Lynch can.
It's all about contrast for him.
Yeah.
And then we get the car shot from part 1, kind of replayed in it's a different road, but it's more or less the same shot. And the doppelganger is driving to what ends up being the convenience store, and we get our first indication from that because they start bringing in that Hiroshima music from part 8.
Yeah.
And I started getting nervous when I started hearing that music coming in on the road. And he pulls up to the convenience store, and there's a woodsman out there waiting for him, which is kind of funny. You think that this is not a real place, but apparently it is, because even Richard Horn can show up there.
Yep.
And they, the woodsman and the doppelganger, they go up the stairs on the side and the stairs to nowhere, basically. And then they kind of statically and then disappear. Reminding me a little bit of the way Agent Cooper disappears from, if that is the White Lodge, at the beginning when he's talking to the giant or fireman, where he's like, you are far away, and it goes and he's out, like almost like a TV image.
Yeah. It also confirmed that picture in Fire Walk with Me in Laura's room that the Tremonds give her is that entrance to the convenience store.
It's the same picture, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Because he says, I'm looking for Phillip Jeffries.
Right. And then the woodsman turns on that blue light, and
there, boom, they walk up the stairs.
And now we get our, well, I'll get to that. Say they go, all of a sudden we're able
yeah, you got
all of a sudden we're able to go outside to like this parking lot in this like other netherworld, I guess. And he walks up to room 8, where I guess Phillip Jeffries is waiting for him in a different body. But there's
the evolution of Phillip.
Yeah, which we kind of figure was going to happen.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was a rewrite for Bowie.
Wouldn't it have been great if Bowie was able to do those scenes?
Well, here's the thing. So this lady comes up to him. I thought it was going to be, what was that lady from part 1, the one in the cabin, the one with the teeth and the...
Oh, yeah. I thought it was her too at first.
Yeah, it wasn't her, obviously. But she's like, I'll unlock the door for you. And
What's her name?
I can't even remember. Somewhere in the chat will be
Beulah.
Yeah. And so he goes into this room. Now, last week, it was revealed that a voice actor by the name of Nathan Frizzell overdubbed David Bowie. And there's only one reason to do that, is because the voice was going to be used other places.
Yes.
And so obviously, and now we know.
Yeah. And the credit changed from just voice last week to voice of Phillip Jeffries tonight.
Okay. Yep. And this wasn't the same voice that was in the motel room when the doppelganger was talking on supposedly to Phillip Jeffries.
Was it supposed to be, and it was just distorted, that they hadn't gotten that? But they would have hired that actor at that point,
and he would have been in the credits, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So anyway, Phillip Jeffries has evolved into, it looks like one of those bells that was near in the White Lodge, if that's what it's called. Either that, or I was thinking it was like the Rancho Rosa symbol with the tower or something. But only Lynch can do this with the smoke going into the with the numbers floating and the voice and stuff like that. And then they replay more of the Fire Walk with Me clip.
Mm-hmm.
And man, they really got into this. Who is Judy? Who is Judy?
Boy, they pushed that, didn't they? I thought we were going to get the answer, but we still don't have the answer.
Well, I still maintain that Nido is Judy.
Why would they name her Nido, though?
Why do they play around with the credits of the names anyway?
Well, that's true. And then why is, Philip Gerard, Mike, and all that stuff? Yeah.
Yeah. Because Judy was supposed to be Josie's sister,
and she's Asian, so that would make sense. Yeah.
Right. Yes. There's only 2 Asians that can exist in this world. One's Jonathan and one's Josie. Anyway, but they're like, last week we got the discussion about the mean of what the blue rose is. Where did that come from with the doppelganger in the hotel room? Now we get the Judy thing. For the Uber Fire Walk with Me fans like you, Chaz, is this I know this is probably making you more excited, but do you think there's an element to it that is, do you think it only makes Fire Walk with Me more exciting, or do you think it kind of hurts the film in some way because it's explaining a little bit that was left to the viewer's imagination before?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head. It makes it more exciting. It makes it it almost makes me feel like hey, you guys didn't really get how good Fire Walk with Me was, and now you do. You know what I mean? Like I think I heard Hal say he saw it in the theater and loved it.
Yeah.
And I was the same way. I saw it at a 1:00 showing at a mall theater broad daylight. I walked out and I was like freaking out about it, and I absolutely loved it. And I mean, Cameron knows. To me, it's my favorite horror movie of all time. It is the scariest movie I've ever seen in my life. Second is the.
It's also one of the saddest movies too.
Absolutely. I'm just saying, like, when people ask me that question, I that is what I give them, because it terrified me. And it also, emotionally affected me, like you said. Mm-hmm. But
it terrified me too by how many supporting actors were left on the cutting
room. Yeah, get out of here. but no, one of the reasons I love this season so much is because of how much they are dealing with Fire Walk with Me.
It's neatly folded into the whole mythology of it so now. Much. Yes.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of reasons for that. I think that the original series, even though a lot of people label it as confusing or this and that, it's pretty straightforward. And I think for the most part, a lot of those mysteries have been solved. There's not, Fire Walk with Me kind of ballooned up new mysteries or new ideas. So I think that's where they're kind of grabbing from. And also, let's be honest here. Lynch has been hurt by the fact that Fire Walk with Me didn't do very well and wasn't respected. So I think this is a way for him to almost legitimize Fire Walk with Me. Because Hal and I have had this discussion before where when Fire Walk with Me was the final word in Twin Peaks, I mean, yes, it was a really great film, but it did leave some people unsatisfied just because it was the last thing we had for so long. But now with this new series, it's now just one more piece of this whole saga as opposed to the nail in the coffin, basically,
Right.
Well, I think it's Lynch knowing what he wanted to do with Fire Walk with Me, and for some reason, people didn't accept it. It didn't answer anything, but it was a prequel, right? And then Lynch gets the chance. I know what you're saying. He gets the chance to incorporate that into a third season to tie it up. But really, if you really think about Fire Walk with Me, you don't really need it. I don't think Lynch is saying like F you.
No, I'm saying that he's listen, the Phillip Jeffries part in Fire Walk with Me is like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Right now we are given proper context about Phillip Jeffries. We even find out that he's like Gordon Cole's partner for the first Blue Rose case. So yes. I'm just saying all of those little details. So when it add up, so when you go back to rewatch Fire Walk with Me, it's now you have now more investment in that scene as opposed to what is this scene all about? Why is David Bowie here? And now we're in Twin Peaks with Sheryl Lee. It just now there's more to it.
That's true.
That's all I'm saying.
It makes that scene totally pay off.
It also doesn't make you think that they should have just snipped that scene out altogether from the movie.
Yeah, it makes you wish that they would re-edit the missing pieces version back into the movie.
In fact, if there's one drawback with tonight's episode, or actually last week's with Gordon Cole relaying his dream, I was kind of hoping they would have thrown in some of those above the convenience store missing pieces scenes, because I think that scene should be seen by more people than just people who own the Blu-ray set. It's
essential to me. I mean, that if you could watch only one of those deleted scenes, it would be that one.
But to me, the thing is that if you did not have this season, if this never happened, I'm still like super happy with Fire Walk with Me and season 1 and 2 as it is.
Well, we had to be, and we were for 25 years.
But you didn't like Fire Walk with Me.
No, I did. I had reservations about it because I knew how much had been cut out, and I was kind of upset that for the first time Lynch had to write, make, and edit and release a film in 11 months, a film that had so much levels of complexity in terms of prequel and sequel in it. I feel that if Lynch had maybe 6 more months of time, that yes, the film probably would have been different, maybe would have been finessed a little bit. But he also was working with Mary Sweeney, you know, who he was dating at the time. Yes. Also, first time lead editor. Dwayne Dunham wasn't on board for the first time in years.
Right.
Not saying that what we got is a bad film. I'm just saying that it's, I don't know. I know why he cut out what he did. My argument has always been he got a 2 hour and 15-minute runtime, and he took it to 2 hours, 14 minutes, and 35 seconds. He took it right to the edge. So if he had gotten a 2 hour, 30-minute runtime, it probably would have been closer to that length. I think that I don't think that if he had gotten a 3 hour, said your director's cut can be no more than 3 hours, I don't think we would have gotten the 2 hour and 15-minute movie the way we did.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean,
that's all I'm saying. I think Fire Walk With Me, I think Blue Velvet is exactly the way he wanted to release it. I think Wild at Heart is exactly the way. I think Mulholland Drive. I think all these movies. I think Fire Walk With Me is the one that if he had more time, we would have gotten more film.
You might be onto something, because obviously there's the missing pieces. And also, he wanted to do a lot of stuff in season 3 to tie it in.
Right. And, you know, so yeah, I really like the film. I think that it kind of took me a while to figure out what he was doing with the film, because again, this came out in 1992. So there wasn't the internet the way it is now. So to realize that he was flipping everything. I mean, obviously we know about the Deer Meadow Sheriff Station versus the Twin Peaks Sheriff Station, etc. But just in terms of like flipping Laura Palmer's picture from the homecoming picture in the school and the house, that was flipped. At first, when you first see the movie, you're thinking, oh, this must be a continuity error because they were moving so fast. But then you go through the film and you realize how many things are flipped. The fact that, you know, Chet Desmond is CD and then Dale Cooper is DC. Everything's flipped.
Yeah.
And so
that's after watching it for a while.
Right.
You know?
But what I'm saying, right. All that is kind of, is there, is below the surface. And we're dealing with, you know, Cooper being stuck in the lodge and the idea of the doppelgangers out and things like that. But we don't get the payoff of that until this season. When we are left at the end of Fire Walk With Me of Laura and Cooper in the Black Lodge, it almost seems like a bittersweet ending, because it's like they're safe in kind of this hell world while the outside world is going to hell because the doppelganger's running free.
Yeah.
Right. Now we're getting the payoff of what was happening out there.
Interesting.
And so, yeah, I mean, it is kind of complete.
I always took the payoff as that Laura Palmer was free, and she was like the angel, you know, like she was happy now.
Sure.
I mean, she's floating and crying at the end, right?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Chaz, that if season 3 had never happened, between the 2 seasons and Fire Walk With Me, it is a satisfying ending, even though there's things unanswered that I'm so glad he's been able to address here in this new series. And I'm also thankful that Lynch is the kind of a director that doesn't let roadblocks stop him. I mean, he's, you know, it would have been totally different if he would have had David Bowie to work with, if he had Michael J. Anderson, if the Log Lady hadn't been as ill as she was. I'm sure we'd have a whole different thing. You know, if there would have been a season 3 during the ABC years, it would have been totally different. But it's so good that he's persevered because of his love for that world, that we get what we get. But I wonder how different it would have been had all the things aligned perfectly.
And again, Fire Walk With Me ends in a way where it's we had to make peace with it because we didn't get anything for 25 years. And then when Lynch in 2000 saying, you know, Twin Peaks is as dead as a doornail. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. And we had to just go, okay, that's a beautiful, complete piece.
We'll never know who Judy is, but it's one of those life's mysteries.
Yeah, I mean, the monkey seems to know who Judy is. At the
Right.
You may never know who Judy is.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly couldn't care less if we find out who Judy is or not. It's fine. I'm okay with that kind of stuff.
He may want to just leave that the ongoing mystery almost as a joke. Like, we'll never know who Judy is. We're not going to talk about her.
The doppelganger in this room says, who's Judy? And I thought, okay, well, there it is. The acknowledgement. Who's Judy? No, they kept going. Who is Judy?
Yeah.
Pick up the phone. Find out.
Right. Sorry, click. You're not
he picks up the phone. All of a sudden, he's like outside, whisked away, out, kind of kicked out of this other world. He's on the payphone. And all of a sudden, Richard Horn's there thinking he's some sort of badass when he got his butt kicked by Red just 5-6 episodes ago. And he's going to take on the doppelganger. I mean, he thinks this is Cooper, an FBI agent. Again, Richard Horn thinks he can take on a trained FBI agent. This guy's a putz. But the good news is that we do get clarification that he is indeed Audrey's son.
Yes.
Which, I mean, everybody kind of assumed it by now. I would hope. But I love the fact that the doppelganger just punches them out and then says, get in the truck. So I don't like these two together.
Don't threaten me again.
Did anybody, who was it that said, I'll unlock the door for you?
That was, I don't know, some lady speaking backwards. I didn't get
that. That's one we thought might have been Beulah, but it was somebody else.
It was just random.
Yeah.
Okay.
A random denizen of the Black Lodge.
Hey, you know what? I thought a random denizen of the Black Lodge was Nido, and then she showed up in the woods last week. So.
Yeah.
True. You never know. 3 more hours to go.
But the doppelganger does turn on his phone and text Las Vegas. Now, is this the text that Diane got?
Yeah.
From a previous episode when she was at the bar, or a couple or before that?
Yeah, with the time shifts, it could have been, or it could have been a second message because he wants to know, have they asked you about Vegas yet again? Maybe he's still curious.
Right. And so they take off, and then all of a sudden the convenience store gets filled up with smoke. The smoke comes out, and it seems like the smoke is going into the woods.
It dissolves in the woods.
Right. Yeah, we're getting definitely a Universal Gothic horror film feel with all the smoke going into the woods.
Disappears.
Right. Yeah. Now this is the doppelganger is the last place we saw him. He was at the farm, right? And that has to be a certain distance away from Twin Peaks for Richard to get there. And again, but we don't know the timeline. So we don't know where the doppelganger is going. Is he taking Richard back to Twin Peaks? Is he just... Where do you think the doppelganger is going right now? That's what I'm asking.
Good question.
Well, he's looking for Phillip Jeffries.
Well, he found Phillip, so now where's he going?
Well, and Richard may have found his dad.
But right. I mean, why did he even want to know? And Phillip Jeffries didn't give him anything.
I'm guessing he's going to Twin Peaks because where else would he go at this point? It's all got to culminate in Twin Peaks.
The fact
that Richard is from Twin Peaks, and the fact that he mentioned Audrey, and that seemed to make him want Richard to go with him.
But why would
they're heading that direction?
But why would Richard want to go back to an area where he's a wanted fugitive?
Yeah, it's true. He's on the run.
Also, didn't we already think that he was in Twin Peaks because of the kid throwing up?
Yeah. But then again, who knows? I mean, the timelines are just all skewed.
Yeah,
that's true. That'll be later on because there's something later on that shows that it is a totally different timeline.
Such as?
Where's my notes? Audrey and Charlie going to the roadhouse.
Right, and that seems to be one long scene that's been broken up over.
The same night.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Charlie says, "I'm exhausted. Are we going to go?"
Right.
That's the same night.
They seem to not be able to get out of that house, and there's got to be a reason for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of scary to think about the implications of that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so then we go from the smoke in the woods to kind of, again, we're in the woods during the daytime, and there's this guy walking a dog, and then we come across Stephen and Gerson Hayward kind of leaning up, and apparently they're on a drug trip. It seems like
Stephen for sure. Don't know about Gerson, but she's trying to comfort him, but he's completely whacked out.
Right. Now this, I'm going to assume that these drugs they're taking are the drugs that Frank Truman was talking to Bobby about the fact that there's an influx of this like hardcore drug coming through the town, right?
Sparkle, right? Is that what they call it? Sparkle.
Right. So I don't know. It just seems to me that like everybody's like the other girl in the roadhouse had that rash, and it just this doesn't look like a fun drug to take.
Yeah, it's probably a riff on crystal meth and crystal sparkle,
or what was that, the bath salts and stuff, the thing that made
right.
people go out and start eating people alive.
Yes, you're right.
Anyway, so yeah, because Gerson says you didn't do anything, you're stoned, and Steven just goes on to a long, I don't know, drug fueled kind of outburst.
Yeah, what was he babbling there? What did your subtitles say? Did you get any of that?
Just stuff I like effing you, and it seemed like it was an outtake from a Gus Van Sant's Last Days. Like I couldn't understand that movie either until I turned on the subtitles. That's
but
anyway, but the dog guy shows up again, which I was thinking something bad's gonna happen to this dog guy. He's just walking peacefully in the woods here.
He has to alert Carl.
And Gerson runs and hides, and then we're left with the assumption that Stephen kills himself.
I really wanted to see, normally it's okay, you cut away from the hardcore gore, but in this case, I wanted Lynch to show the bloody aftermath of Stephen getting his head blown off. Didn't like that guy.
Yeah, kind of a waste of a human being. If you think of it. And the fact that Renee in the second episode is going, "What are you talking about, Shelley? Everybody loves Steven." Who's everybody? I've never seen anybody like Steven in this show.
Yeah, and I love Gerson. It's like, why did she end up with that loser?
Even Mike Nelson turned him away for not being able to do a resume correctly.
Right.
So, oh my goodness, ridiculous. And I love Gerson like looking up at the trees, and it's like I can just hear David Lynch saying to the sound person, there's like a wind is coming through.
Yeah, you're looking up, you hear a wind. Exactly.
He's very much
doing this. It's doing this. It's doing this. So this hand gestures.
He's very big into there's a wind.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of wind going on in this series. And it seems like the woods are like closing in on everybody, almost like the way Jerry couldn't get out of the woods for so long.
They're towering over and kind of menacing, or enfolding you in them. I was waiting for a vortex to open up too, with Gerson there looking up at the sky.
I'm waiting for the Blair Witch to show up at this point. It seems like anyone who goes out in the woods doesn't get out. That's right. But anyway.
Well, the dog guy got out.
He did get out, and he went over to the new Fat Trailer Park and told Carl, I think he lives there.
It must have been after 9 a.m. because Carl was up and around.
But I wonder if people were looking for Stephen, like law enforcement or the Bookhouse Boys or something like that, because obviously they know that Becky obviously fired that gun at the door.
Mm-hmm.
So, and obviously they're not looking for her anymore. Bobby's kind of protecting her, shielding her. He even said, you should be in jail right now, and the only reason why you're not is because you're my daughter. So
you think we'll see the Bookhouse Boys before this is all over? Will we get the signal?
I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. The fact that Mark Frost confirms on Twitter that Harry Dean Stanton is the original Bookhouse Boy. If they were going to go into that at all, he wouldn't have said that on Twitter.
True.
So I don't know. I just think it's great that Harry Dean Stanton Because Carl has a radio that goes straight to the sheriff's station. You can bypass everybody else on the phone lines. You can bypass Lucy and everything, get right to Margaret.
Right.
Okay. Then we cut to the Roadhouse, and this is the first time I've ever seen them actually play not live music. But
ZB Top Sharp Dressed Man. That was the only misstep for me. I'm like, really? Of all the song catalog in the world, that's just so overplayed. I don't know. I got burned out on that song.
I actually love that they cut to it halfway in the episode, and there's no band, and that's it. Like, you're going to the Roadhouse. I think it's the first time you've gone there in the middle of an episode. Right?
I wonder if that band at the end, what they were called, the Veils or something like that. I wonder if they were pissed that they didn't get the MC with the Pinecone guy introducing them, but yet he introduced the pre-recorded ZZ Top track.
They weren't pissed. That song's produced by LP, so they're not pissed. They're making money.
Jan in the comments says, I get the impression Steven has done something really bad. Maybe he killed Becky. Scott Christie says Mark Frost was the guy walking the dog. Really?
I didn't catch that at all.
No, I usually spot that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But, hey, good catch. Yeah. I don't know if he was in the credits or not. It was. I was writing my notes down, and I didn't look up during the credits.
That's definitely one for the rewatch.
Definitely. Okay, so all right. So Renee's there in this booth with her husband, and James and Freddy come walking in. Now, a couple things here. James starts stuttering. This surprised me because he had this long conversation with Freddy just last episode, and there wasn't any stuttering on him before. I know they said in part 2 that he had been in a motorcycle accident and had kind of slowed down a little bit, but I hadn't seen. Just from what they presented so far, it seemed like a different James Hurley in this part. Mm-hmm. Maybe he was just nervous being around Renee. But I'm almost thinking that they went there on purpose to pick a fight because he knew he had Freddy's magic glove with him.
True.
Because he's saying, I didn't want this. I didn't want this at all. But listen, if you have a friend with a superhero power glove next to you, you're going to be a little more emboldened.
James isn't going to do that, though. No way.
But Freddy's happy. He looked like he took no effort whatsoever punching those two guys out. So
that sound effect was great, too.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So I think, is this just another gold shovel thing, or do you think this green glove is going to be knocking off some woodsman heads by the end of this series?
Yeah, it's hard to think that scene was Freddy's destiny. I think there's more to come there.
We hope so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, see, I wonder if Lynch is trying to build it up in our minds that he's going to play some big role in this thing, but in reality he's not. I don't know. But then I'm interested about this idea of the giant or the fireman creating this army around the globe and bringing them all to Twin Peaks. We don't even know how many other people there are.
Right.
We've only met Freddy and seen a few other, and Andy obviously encountered the fireman and Cooper eventually, probably, but who knows how many other people.
That's true. Yeah. What other people has the fireman recruited to converge to Twin Peaks for the grand finale?
I don't know. So, we cut to the FBI, and Wilson has brought in the wrong Dougie and Jane.
Kids. There's only supposed to be one kid.
Kids suck.
So I don't know. These FBI scenes are. I mean, they're very funny. I don't know. I don't really have a complaint about them. I'm just saying that they're funny. I'm just trying to figure out where we're. I don't know. I don't know. I want to get to what's going to have next. I don't even think they're going to find Dougie after what happens to Dougie in this episode.
Right.
I think we're.
Coop's back next episode.
Or that is what sends him to the fireman.
Right.
But then again, he doesn't know who Richard and Linda are. But he might, because now that the doppelganger has come in contact with Richard, then doesn't Cooper theoretically know Richard because they're one and the same?
Interesting. That's a good point.
I don't know. Just throwing that out there. All right. So then we go back to Vegas, and I totally space out on his name, but the guy from Winkies, him and his friend just completely, or there's a colleague just murdered. Chantel just comes in.
He's killed like that. It's like, goodbye.
Mr. Todd, right?
Yeah,
Todd.
that is. Yeah, there it is. But the way Jennifer Jason Leigh was walking away, at first I thought that was Naomi Watts. I was like, what the hell? Janie E just walk in and blow these people away?
Yeah, I didn't really recognize her until she's like, give me some fries with that. Like, oh, they're going to Wendy's. It was Chantel.
Again. Yeah, I love all the Hutch and Chantel stuff. It almost seems like, when you watch Steven Soderbergh's Traffic and they cut to, is it Louis Guzman and Don Cheadle or something like that, and it felt like it was like an outtake from Boogie Nights. This definitely feels like outtakes from Tarantino's work. Hutch and Chantel.
You're right.
Oh, Chaz is disagreeing.
No.
I thought that Hutch and Chantel scene was really hilarious too, because it was
it's great.
That commentary, it's like, we just do the same thing government does. They get paid just like us. It's like, that was genius, man.
No, I'm not saying I don't love it. I'm saying that goes back to like Wild at Heart. I mean, if anything.
Well, the accents, yes.
The dialogue. I mean, Tarantino is taken from Lynch. Lynch is not taken from Tarantino.
No. I'm just saying in terms of side characters that kind of are in their own storyline.
Wild at Heart.
I know. I'm just saying it just.
Okay.
It just reminded me of just, small town little crooks. I mean, Mr. Reindeer didn't talk about Wendy's. All right. I bring up Tarantino because his common criminals, frequent fast food establishments.
Yeah, and pop culture. I got
and pop culture.
Yeah,
Lynch's criminals. Bobby Peru is a pretty suave looking guy. He doesn't hang out at Wendy's.
Bobby Peru. He's got some busted teeth, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's got the wardrobe that Frank Booth would think is pretty suave.
Right. So, the suave aspect, you're right.
Yeah. So then we go to the sheriff's station, and James and Freddy are put in holding cells. Familiar place for James Hurley, I should say.
Yeah.
I thought it was surprised James was there.
Right. He's not the one that accosted these people.
Yeah.
But I found it great that Bobby was the one putting James in the cell, considering that, in the pilot, they were the ones staring each other down in those same cells.
Yeah.
Doing the barking. And again, we get a replay of Naito's dolphin, and is that Billy? Have they named them in the credits yet? Or is that just Zombie Man still?
Yeah, that's right. I didn't look in the credit. The credits were flying by, so I didn't see if they named him Billy or not yet.
Right. But yeah, Hawk and Bobby put them in the cells, and
would have been great if Bobby and James would have dog barked at each other just for old time's sake.
Well, honestly, I was saying this with Mandy earlier. It's surprising that Bobby Briggs is in the police department and James Hurley is the security guard at the Great Northern. You would think that James, having Big Ed's connection to the Bookhouse Boys, that he would have been primed to be a deputy.
I still think that James was traumatized by whatever the motorcycle incident was, and that's maybe why he didn't reach his full potential like Bobby has.
Perhaps. All right. Then we cut to your scene of Hutch and Chantel. She doesn't like these little ketchup packets.
Right.
And
but he did get her dessert, so he redeemed himself.
But we didn't really see what the dessert was. My mind was going around.
I thought maybe he got her a big bag of Cheetos for dessert. But
I thought he was getting her a lava cake from like KFC or something. But she says it's no fun, torturing a corpse. So.
Right. Yeah, we haven't got any good torture lately. Haven't had time for torture.
In a way, because Chaz was mentioning Hutch and Chantel with Wild at Heart. In a way, they're more a trashier version of Juanita and her and the gang in Wild at Heart. The David. What is his name? The guy who played Jerry Horn. David what?
David Patrick Kelly.
David Patrick Kelly. I was thinking David Kelly, and I was like, no, that's the guy who created Ally McBeal. Anyway, but yeah, no, they're little. I'm curious what's going to happen with Hutch and Chantel because they killed Mr. Todd, and she says we have one more. So obviously, because one of the theories going around is they were going to knock out Janie E and Sonny Jim, or Dougie and Janie E, but obviously there's one more. So who do you think that last one is? Maybe
Dougie's the third one. Doesn't have to be Janie and Sonny Jim. Maybe it's Dougie.
I actually thought that was the last time we were going to hear from them. That the last episode, like I thought they were done. Like never going to see him again after the Wendy's thing. Done.
No, I have a feeling either they're going to get away scot-free or they're going to go down in a hail of gunfire or something like that.
Like a Bonnie and Clyde scene.
Or the Mitchum brothers will take them out or something.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, she's going on about Wendy's and Cheetos and torturing people. I wonder if the Mitchum brothers don't say, take them out back or something, and something happens to them.
That's a good thought. I like that.
We will see. We will see. All right, so then we cut to Janie E, and she's bringing Dougie a piece of chocolate cake. And I was cracking up because I think it was last episode I was saying, we're revving up. We got, 4 episodes left. They're not going to have like a 10-minute scene of Dougie trying to tie his shoes, right? Well, they slowed down the pace here. But I love the fact I wasn't sure if they were salt and pepper shakers or what, but he arranged the ornaments on the table to be the Twin Peaks, which I loved. Mm-hmm. And then the fact that he's watching Sunset Boulevard, obviously, one of his
so great
favorite movies. The fact that they mentioned Norma, and then I said Sunset Boulevard, here comes the Gordon Cole. Obviously, if you know the movie, you know Gordon Cole. And they went there, and all of us. And did you see Cooper? All of a sudden, he woke up.
Yeah,
right.
It wasn't like
that's why he went to the socket,
right? And so one of the theories, and I'm so happy this is kind of paying off, is he came out in episode 3, and he's he probably got recharged in 15, and how great is that? 3:15, you can't get much better than that. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Just absolutely love when things work out that way.
And also, like this just solidified that Lynch is doing every single thing he wants to do. Anyone who knows Lynch knows that's his favorite movie, right?
Yeah.
So he is using that as he knows everyone knows his favorite movie, and he's using it. I mean, Lynch is just doing everything he wants to do with this series to make you love it, and for people who don't know, to kind of figure it out, right? Like,
well, in the original series, references so many things, from Vertigo to Laura, the 1944 film Laura. But the difference is, and this isn't a complaint, I'm just saying the difference is nobody in the original series is watching Laura. Nobody's watching Vertigo. Once you found out that they were pulling names from that kind of thing, it turned on people to go explore
that's
the works.
What I'm saying, though, Cameron. He shows you. That's what he turns on.
Right.
He says, "Hey, you guys know this is my favorite movie. Watch what happens right now."
Right.
I mean, that's pretty ballsy.
But it also, people kept thinking, what's going to wake Cooper up? Is it going to be Audrey? Is it going to be this or that? And I almost felt like the Sunset Boulevard clip. I loved it because it almost was a sledgehammer to Cooper. Like, wake up.
Right. It was like you said about the whole series, Cameron, where they're giving us what we want in ways we never expected. What we're all speculating what's going to wake Dougie up. Sunset Boulevard, like you said, Chaz, Lynch's favorite movie, where the origin of the name Gordon Cole came from. He sees that clip. Here's Gordon Cole. That wakes him up. That's beautiful, man.
But it's also the fact that he's eating cake and they say Norma, and so he's remembering eating pie at the Double R, and so. And I was thinking, okay, they're gonna bring that up because you just ate the cherry pie. And I love the fact that, again, I'm speculating here, but I love the fact that he's been eating Norma's pies in the Vegas setting with the Mitchum brothers. But the reason why that doesn't wake him up is because they're not using the same ingredients that Norma is using. That's great.
Not the original ingredients. Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Has to be just right.
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 Because Peggy Lipton, she took to Twitter and she said what Dougie's eating as a Double R pie. And everyone was like, how the hell is he eating a Double R pie? And then, of course, it gets revealed that she's been franchised. Yeah. No, I loved it. And he crawls. I couldn't have been the only person sad that he couldn't get the fork in the electrical outlet. I was like, just do it. Just do it, Dougie. Do it. And, I was like, there's no way he's going to die. This is just going to wake him up.
Yeah.
It would have been great. I mean, I know he stabbed it and then the lights went out and Janie's screaming. The greatest touch probably would have been he stabs it. She screams. He turns around, and then out of nowhere, his shoes drop to the floor.
Yeah.
They just get returned to him.
His shoes are back, yeah.
But what a cliffhanger. I mean, forget about Agent Cooper getting plugged at the door at the end of season 1. This is a cliffhanger. I can't wait to see what happens in the next episode.
Me too, yeah.
But I don't think he's just going to be back and Cooper. I think there's going to be something else that just kind of is the final something. I can't imagine them just cutting back and he's just putting on his shoes and I'm going to go to Twin Peaks and save the day.
Well, so that scene ended with just the electricity, right? And then it cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think there's going to be some disorientation, but I think it's going to be way more Coop and way less Dougie next episode.
Yeah. I mean, we have 3 episodes left.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of people are speculating that he's probably being sent to the fireman, which would be great because then it would explain the opening scene and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that would be awesome.
I like that.
We'll have a third black and white Rancho Rosa logo in a row next week.
Well, I love the fact that they keep bringing back the convenience store and the woodsman and all that stuff because I would have been fine. I would have been fine if episode 8 had been a standalone prequel kind of thing. But I love the fact that they're incorporating aspects of it into this series as well. So we'll probably find out eventually who the girl with the frog moth was.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
All right. So let's go to what is arguably the most touching scene of the episode. Yeah. And that is the log lady. Well, this whole section, I should say, the log lady calls Hawk and tells him that she's dying. I honestly found this shocking that this happened now, because I thought that he would have carried her all the way until the finale. So I was surprised, honestly, that a scene like this happened now.
It kind of makes sense though, because it's got I don't think, her story is not the story, but it's such an important part of the story that it makes sense to put it a little bit away from the ending so she could have that beautiful scene,
And I know I'm jumping ahead here, but what I found surprising, the episode is dedicated to Margaret Lanterman.
Yeah.
Not Catherine E. Coulson.
Because he already did the In Memory of Catherine, and now it's In Memory of the Log Lady and all she stood for in that series. I like the fact, I love the double memorial. It's great.
I mean, the Log Lady isn't just some throwaway little character that was, created for the pilot of Twin Peaks. The Log Lady was created during the making of Eraserhead.
Yes. When
Lynch told Catherine Coulson that he would love to see her one day with a log in her arm, and So I mean, this
what was the name of the show that they
I'll test my log with every bit of knowledge.
That's right. Every branch of knowledge.
Every branch of knowledge. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have no idea why I have that fact in my head.
Because it's part of the lore that we've been studying for 25 years.
Right. So what I'm saying is the Log Lady isn't just a character that was created for Twin Peaks. This is a character that was created pretty much at the start of Lynch's entire career.
Right.
And this series, if you think about all the people that he's almost had to say goodbye to after the series, either right before the series or during the series or after the series, there's been a lot of people who have passed on.
Can you imagine the emotions of being in the room with David Lynch and Catherine E. Coulson filming that scene from tonight where she says, "I'm dying," and that close-up of her face, and he's directing that with all their shared history? I mean, that must have been a powerful energy in that room.
Yeah. I almost get the feeling it was a close set.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't think there were 60 people.
I don't think so either.
Staying around.
I agree.
And yes,
that was probably shot like within like a day because she knew she was dying, right?
Right. Well, all of those scenes, it's like the same camera set up when she's on the phone, except for when she puts down the phone tonight and they gave her a separate close up.
It was just like the Log Lady intros. Remember, they were all the same static shot except for the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah. She says, watch for the one under the moon
watch for that one. The one under the moon on Blue Pine Mountain.
Right. And then she says, my log is turning gold. A lot of gold references again in this series. Even the original DVD box was the gold box, right?
I said it from day one. Gold is a conductive of electricity.
So was that gold in the circle, the pool, last week's episode when Nido came out?
I almost
it looked like molten gold.
It almost and also looked like the same substance that Sam Stanley had in that tub in the missing pieces thing that Cooper looked at. That was like bubbling.
Yeah, you said that. I have to rewatch that because I don't remember that, but I'm sure it's there.
It just seems like there's just connections just everywhere.
Yeah.
So Hawk says good night, Margaret, or goodbye, Margaret. Yeah, it's obviously very sad, and then of course it cuts to the moon being covered by the darkness, and then there's the
dissolves,
and then the dissolve and to the conference room, and they have kind of the show literally stops to remember the Log Lady, and then it even goes so far to then cut back to her house and then fade out her cabin.
And the lights dim.
It's very well done. Because of their history, it totally works. And I'm sure Catherine was totally game to, let's do this.
Yeah. She loved that role. She loved that role.
Right. And the fact that they, they actually, the show itself, stops to remember her.
Yeah.
It's incredibly powerful stuff. I just was surprised that she didn't carry over until the final episode, like saying, good job, Hawk, or something over the phone. Tonight on the new channel, everybody, which I've noticed that since we've been live, we have 115 people in our chat right now.
Excellent.
So, but I want you guys to know that this channel you guys are watching is not our main channel. Our main channel is Obnoxious Anonymous on YouTube. However, YouTube's been giving me just a lot of crap lately. So the final video, this video, if you want to watch it later, is going to be housed on this site. This is the channel. This channel and the main Obnoxious Anonymous channel on YouTube are the ones you should be subscribing to. This channel I have right now that you are watching is strictly for live streaming because YouTube decided to take away my live streaming on my main channel for some stupid reason. So hopefully
you should read the URL out loud. What if there's some sight impaired people that just hear the audio of these videos?
Thank you, Hal, for saying that. So https /vid:/me/obnoxious and anonymous, no spaces, just all one. So if you guys can see that, please subscribe to there. I'm trying to bring over as many of the subscribers as possible. I've uploaded 34 videos from our main channel over there, and that's where all the new videos will be housed. So anyway, thank you guys for all your support. I really appreciate it.
Good stuff. Sorry you got to deal with that, Cameron. Terrible.
We're all sorry.
Yeah,
it's an unfortunate situation, but like Lynch, we're trying to work our ways around it.
exactly.
All right. I have to say the scene with all the actors in the conference room, it's just very touching. Don't you think? Yeah.
That was the third time I shed tears tonight. Twice during the Big Ed stuff and the log lady.
Yeah. So tonight on the VidMe channel, I'm gonna be posting up the interview I did with Catherine Nicholson right before she shot her scenes for this series. Nice. We had a really great discussion. So yeah, I'm gonna post it up later tonight. It's hard not to watch an episode like this and not want to share the love that was her.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people don't know is that Catherine H. Coulson also worked on Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan.
Right.
So I think it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Well, you learn something new every day, Chaz.
I do. And I still need to learn about Star Trek.
Especially with Cameron's encyclopedic knowledge of film.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that encyclopedic knowledge means other things go by the wayside.
I understand. And full of pop culture.
like what day my Best Buy bills due. All right, so then the scene cuts to another Audrey Charlie moment here. And this is the second time in this episode, as far as I'm aware, that someone says, "What the hell?" We got that in the James jail scene as well.
Somebody needs to do a "What the hell" cut video. All the "What the hell."
Hey, you know what? One of the last videos we did inspired a viewer to make the greatest Wendy's commercial of all time.
Yeah.
So
that was great.
Yeah. So someone out there make a "What the hell" cut.
What the hell? Yeah.
Yeah. So she says, "I like Billy better." Charlie takes his coat off, and then Audrey charges him. And what the hell is going on in this scene? I mean, do we even have anything to draw from at this moment? I mean,
like I said, it seems like there's no way they're going to get out of that house. It's like a struggle with her mind. I think Charlie's some sort of aspect of her mind struggling with. Like people have theorized, she may still be in a coma and she's struggling to wake up, and that's just going on in her subconscious because she can't get out of that room. No matter how bad she wants to go to the roadhouse, something always stops her from actually going.
But we're 3 episodes away from it being over. I mean, if we were going to get into some, woman's head in a coma, so, I mean, that's
but they may not explain it. It's like, how Lynch does those abstract manifestations of people that are actually just, like remember Hotel Room, that one, and Mulholland Drive and stuff like that. Maybe she'll just wake up and we'll have to sort out what Charlie was in her head,
or not. They might just leave it that way. Like you will end up not getting out of her head,
right? Or we'll just see Audrey in the coma and they'll leave it at that.
Yeah, or not. If they just leave it that way, you just know. Yeah.
People are saying the best part was Audrey choking him.
It's pretty funny.
Eric says, "I was hoping that she killed him." Laugh out loud. Wicked Scott says, "They are living in Audrey's dream." I mean, Lynch did say in the last part, "Who is dreaming?"
Mm-hmm.
So I just hope it's not Annie Blackburn in a hospital bed. Because, I mean, for them to cut away when Norma's mentioning her family, tease, super tease.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway. All right, so then let's go to this weird moment. We have Charlotte Yee from Paper Heart You ever see that that indie film that she did with Michael Cera? It's a very sweet little movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out. She also got her kind of big screen, I think, debut in Knocked Up, the Seth Rogen movie. Anyway, she plays this young woman at the roadhouse, and these two like biker guys come up to him. Anyway, yeah, her name's Ruby, and she says, "I'm waiting for someone," and they just pick her up and put her on the floor.
Lift her right out of the booth. Hey, we need this one.
Yeah, I love it. That's hilarious. But then she starts
freaking out,
crawling, and then she screams. The episode pretty much ends on a scream.
Yeah.
Before it fades up to that outside motel room in the netherworld.
We have the first different closing sequence.
No, actually not.
Right, because they did the diner.
Well,
that's right.
No. And also, because when they split part 1 and part 2 up, the credits roll over the fireman's
that's right.
phonograph.
That's right. And also Big Ed eating alone was another one.
Right. I think it's a big mistake splitting up part 1 and 2.
I'm totally wrong.
You're totally wrong, Chaz.
I am.
You need to be perfect every moment on these podcasts.
I was like, wow, that's like a totally different ending sequence to this. But now that you mention it, it makes sense. I mean, they still ended with the song.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a sole performance in the credits. It cut back and forth between the musician and the band and Charlotte Yee on the ground. Ruby.
At least they didn't end it with the ZZ Top song. Or maybe that's what, because that would have made me scream.
Nice.
Right. Yeah, and then the credits play over that motel that was in that supposedly other world where Phillip Jeffries was located. Is this the end of Jeffries in this series?
I think so.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even think about that.
He's done his. Well, I don't know. Because the convenience store may come back.
But was the convenience store destroyed? Did it like implode with all that smoke?
I don't think it was destroyed. I think it was just, it just dissolved back into, it appears and then it disappears like the red drapes, in the woods. It appears and disappears.
Right. Yeah, the credits roll, and again, it ends with a memory of Margaret Lanterman, which surprised me. I've never seen a movie or TV show dedicated to a character before, but
because she was just she was such the heart and soul of Twin Peaks. I'm glad they did that. That was really a sweet touch. Well,
it's kind of, a lot of people talk about how ABC they like to say that ABC co-opted season 2's Twin Peaks, and they made them finish Laura's mystery, and that ruined the whole series. Mm-hmm. Well, I know that some people felt the same way about the Log Lady, that ABC saw the Log Lady character as something to exploit, as sort of like an eccentric character. So they kept insisting, why don't you have more with the Log Lady? Do more with the Log Lady. And so it wasn't just like kind of peppered in. She became like more of an actual character as the series went on, which I loved. Mm-hmm. I mean, they got that note from ABC, and I felt they incorporated it in a way that made logical sense. The fact that she had the tattoo, and all that. But some people think that, I think even Catherine thought for a little bit, even though it got her more screen time, was worried about the way the Log Lady was sometimes portrayed as the series went on. So in a way, I felt that this new series, given what Lynch had to work with, I think in a way he kind of reclaimed the Log Lady as sort of that that spice that you pepper in, as opposed to full on subplots about.
Right.
But I mean, there's nothing else he could really have done. I mean, she kind of was a little, I don't know if she was immobile at that point or not, but they had to go shoot where she was. She didn't come to them.
Yeah, she was very weak. I mean, she still had to have the oxygen going on, and you can see her hands shaking with holding the phone. So she was obviously weak.
Yeah, I mean, I'm already seeing people on Facebook saying, you know, this is the most emotional scene they've seen in a long time on television. And the power of it is we know that Catherine is no longer with us.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
mean,
that she was dying while she was saying those words, "I'm dying."
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to know how to respond because it's such a personal thing. It's like somebody, you know, it's like those parents that know they're dying, and so they record videos for their kids when they're older to watch. You know, like it's like this person knows that this is happening to them. A lot of people don't know when they're gonna die. You know, so it's just
it's like you said, you know, that was probably a closed set. So imagine the intimate moment between David Lynch and Catherine E. Coulson, and then they shared that as part of this beautiful Twin Peaks gift that they're giving us. It's amazing.
It's also like when David Bowie knew that he was dying, and so he recorded a whole album in secret and had it drop like wasn't like the day he died or something.
Right.
Like,
it's like death. It's like death as performance art.
It's
pretty heavy.
That's a pretty heavy statement. So that wraps up our initial reaction. Let's go to the chat, Hal, for the first time in a while.
Yeah. Let's
see what people want us to talk about here. Kevin says this was heartfelt. Denise Dezines says, do you think it was hard for Hawk to do the lines with her? I'm not sure he actually did the lines with her. I think he just did his side. But he definitely,
I'm sure definitely. Yeah, he was feeling those emotions. He knew he was saying goodbye to the character, and I'm sure he was honored to have that role.
George says, we forgot to mention the jumping man. Says Deb Roller says, when you see the jumping man, you can see Sarah Palmer's face for a split second. Okay, first of all, you have to understand it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I got daylight beaming on my TV, even with curtains. So I don't even know a jumping man. Where was the jumping man?
Right. I saw that in the credits too, jumping man, and I go, I missed that. That's for the rewatch because I missed that too. So
yeah,
I saw it in the credits.
All of you guys that are able to watch this at night with the lights off and your big screen TVs, God bless you, because I didn't see no jumping man. James says, who do you think Judy is? I have no idea, except I right now I'm thinking Nido, just because of the fact that it's for 25 years I've heard that Judy was supposed to be the sister of
and you know, people always say that the sounds she's making sound like a dolphin. It sounds like a monkey. Think about it. It also, a chattering monkey.
It also sounds like the window washer from the previous episode.
Yeah, but what did the monkey say in Fire Walk with Me? Judy.
Yeah, no, he said Judy. Says the lady that opens the door for Evil Cooper is at the very end of the credits. Okay, she must have been like walking by or something. Francisco A says Diane is a doppelganger. That's why her hair is white.
Like Leland.
Yeah.
When are we going to see Leland again?
I don't know. Scooby D says the jumping man was in the convenience store upstairs.
Okay.
William says, I'm concerned with how Albert's character is going to close.
I do remember the jumping man now. It's like right as they entered, he was jumping around. I remember seeing that.
Okay. Again, I'll have to rewatch that, though.
Yeah.
When Miguel died, that was the most instant that tears have ever ran down my face. I had family members where it's taken hours or days to cry. Mark says, is the convenience store also the Dutchman's? I don't know. Do you know how?
I don't know. There's no signage that says the Dutchman, so I don't know.
Francisco says, who was the Asian girl at the end of the episode? That was Ruby. I don't know who Ruby is, but she's played by Charlotte E. Okay, let's see. Katrina says, hey, but Mr. C is a doppelganger. His hair isn't white.
True. Jet black. It's like his eyes.
Mark says, yes, the lady at the motel is in the background standing still during the credits. Good to know. Stephen Clark says, will we ever get a reference to Chet Desmond? We already have.
Yeah.
He was part of the Blue Rose Task Force. It would be nice if he showed up, like a Black Lodge spirit or something.
And saying Wiki Game.
You know, that song has 2 music videos for it.
Yeah.
Lynch did one for Wild at Heart, and I don't think the record label was very happy with it, so they made Chris Isaac get on the beach and do that one with the girl.
With what's her name? I can't remember her name right now. The model.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Let's see here. Joseph says Freddy's destiny might be to protect her in the jail from zombie Billy. Maybe. Bay by the Bay. Yes.
So is that saying that? So are people still thinking that Billy is in the cell?
That's what a lot of people think. I mean, it's the only.
I don't think that's Billy.
Well, he's dripping like engine oil out of his mouth. That's right. not blood.
Yeah, I mean, Andy was supposed to meet him, and he didn't show up. He disappeared.
Was that Billy? That was Billy, right? The one with the long hair.
Billy. Andy was supposed to meet Billy. He never showed up. He went missing.
Right.
Wouldn't Andy know that Billy was in the jail cell where he works?
Andy doesn't know a lot of things, though.
Now, Andy knows a shitload.
After last week, he does. Yeah.
I don't think it's Billy. I don't know.
It makes sense though that Freddy now is in close proximity to Nido, so his green glove is going to come into play there.
He's going to protect her.
Yeah. That would be his destiny.
He's the only one that can crush a woodsman head.
Mm-hmm. Or the doppelganger, maybe.
They'll try and crush his head. He'll grab theirs and just pop it like a walnut.
Yeah.
Bay by the Bay says Janie Jones, Judy. I don't know. I think Janie E is a. I think she's an innocent trapped in this predicament. I don't think she plays a larger role. Do you?
No.
Yeah.
Somehow the tulpa concept has to come into play too, since they prominently said that word last week.
Not necessarily. They said Blue Rose in the opening minutes of Fire Walk with Me, and then we got one little reference to it in Cooper's message to Diane, and that was it. Never to be heard from again.
Yeah, and Doug hasn't really come back around either.
No. Wow Bob Wow 37 says Ray said the Dutchman. I know he said it. I just don't remember the context of it. It's been a long week, guys. Let's see. Oh, someone says I think that Billy could have just broken the cell with his glove.
Yeah, just punch his way out.
Alan says
it'd be like Sheriff Cable bending the bars.
Yeah. Alan says Cooper inviting Richard into the truck says they're related or at least connected. Don't you think? I think that the doppelganger is his dad at this moment.
Yeah. It's always been a good theory, and it seems to be coming to play.
Right. Mark says, what did you think of the David Bowie dub voice of the? What do you think? And
it was as good as it could be.
Listen,
he got that kind of weird accent down.
I think had we not known,
right,
it wouldn't have made a difference.
I didn't know last week, and then when I found out, now I'm listening for it. You know.
Well, when I heard it last week, that when he tweeted that out, I could tell this week.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't know last week, but then I rewatched it tonight when they aired it. At 6 o'clock or whatever, and listened for it, and then I could tell that. Yeah, if I hadn't known last week, I would have never.
It was fine.
Yeah.
Kevin
in the chat says, "Who is the eyeless girl?" Kevin, if you're asking us that question, you need to watch another podcast. That's Nido.
It's Nido.
That's all I can say.
Rewatch episode 3.
Rosenfield 10 says that's not Billy. There's no blood out of his nose, and there seems to be like some string across his face too. So,
and it's got a weird patch.
Yeah, I don't think it's Billy either.
Yeah, it's just zombie somebody. Nove 17 May 16 says it was weird that both Dougie, Coop, and Ruby were crawling on all fours. Good catch.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Let's see here. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I would have been fine if Nathan Frizzell, who did David Bowie's voice, just did the voice of the machine, and they just left Bowie's voice intact from the movie. I don't know. I think it would have been fine.
I think they did.
Huh?
You're saying he didn't need to redub that line from Firewalk with Me?
He didn't, did he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Well, he redid Bowie's voice from Firewalk with Me.
Yeah, because
in the line, who do you think that is there?
That is there, not this is there.
Right. Who do you think this is there was the original, and then
right.
And then they changed it to who do you think that is there on the missing pieces?
Oh
no, they changed it to that is there in the missing pieces.
Yes.
Okay, well that's the one they used in
and then that's the one they used in this one. Yeah.
But they redubbed it.
But they redubbed it in this one, yes.
Right.
So there's 3 versions.
So
I don't think so.
They did. He confirmed it.
Yeah, because his name's in the credits as voice in last week's episode.
Yeah.
Last week.
Right.
Yeah.
When Cole is talking about his dream.
Yeah, that's right.
And then tonight in the credits it said voice of Phillip Jeffries. Because,
so
I
I know why they did it, right? I mean, to create continuity, but come on. I mean, could they just have left Bowie's voice and then had this guy do this one out of the machine? It's going to be distorted anyways, coming out of a machine, out of smoke.
Yeah, but unless, maybe they just for the sound mix or whatever, because it was dead silent, and when they showed it last week. So maybe there was other noises in the mix that they couldn't isolate the track or something. So they just had to do it.
I wonder why he switched it from Firewalk with Me. I don't know.
From this to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. Strange touches. Kevin says Gordon Cole gets mentioned as Cooper sticks the fork in the socket. Not just before, huh? Okay. Whitney says, is all our dreams coming true? A clue. Like, I can't believe I'm in this dream place in Mulholland Drive. Well, that's if you're subscribing to the fact that Betty, that whole section is a dream, which I don't. So, but I understand a lot of people do. Let's see here. Confucius says there was a lot of content this episode, guys. Yes, it is. That's why these episodes get longer after, which is fine. I love talking about this show. Let's see. William says, I really think Audrey is her whole story is a lot simpler and straightforward than everyone thinks. I think it could just be a really weird social commentary rather than anything too trippy. Yeah, but we got Charlie saying, I could end your story. That's really weird.
Yeah, that takes it to a new level of weird, just that line.
I've never seen a couple say to each other, I could end your story. So. Let's see here.
Yeah, because Charlie doesn't seem like a murderous guy, so that would be like a veiled death threat. I could end your story. Right. A weird way to phrase it, but he could be seen that way. But I don't see him as that kind of guy. I think he's it's a mind. It's a mind F.
Right. George wants to hear my thoughts on Mulholland Drive, so I'll probably eventually make a video about that because I've had quite a few people ask me about that. Like, what is your take on it if it's not a dream? Yeah, I have a completely different take on it.
You're a fan, though, right?
What? Of what?
Mulholland Drive.
No, I love that movie.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm just saying that, like, I have a completely different way I look at that film than other people do. That doesn't mean that the way they look at it is wrong. Obviously, you can interpret it any way you want, but I'm just saying my interpretation of that movie is so far off from how other people look at it. And so
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you off screen, Chaz.
I'm a big lover of Inland Empire. So
I let me bow my head and shame. No, I'm kidding. You know what? Honestly, that's a movie that out of all of Lynch's work, it's the one that I'm trying to break on through and not understand, but get it into my soul like all of his other films.
Yeah, I have trouble with that too, Cameron. And after Twin Peaks ends, I'm going to go revisit it and try to work on that.
I'm even going to watch the More Things That Happened.
Me too.
Right. I want that. I want that movie in my soul, and it's so impenetratable that I can't. I can't get through to it. I can get about an hour in, and then all of a sudden, I'm out. It's like the door. It's like when you play a video game, you know, and you get to a certain level and you keep losing. One of these days, I'm going to get through it.
That's right. That's a great analogy.
And there's going to be a great payoff, but I can't.
I think when you do, you're going to be in tears. Like,
I think when I do, I'm going to be checking myself into a mental institution.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there. I can't. But no, seriously, like I was so affected by that movie in so many different ways. Like I watched it back to back to back to back to back, like 6 times in a row.
Wow.
And
so that's what happened.
Wow, Chaz, wow.
No doubt. But no, I was like, I was terrified the first time. I was intrigued the second time, and then like the last few times, it really hit me. I was like emotionally invested. So I think you should definitely do it.
Oh, I definitely will. I'm gonna need something to give me this Twin Peaks fix after the show is over.
Yeah,
and honestly, that almost seems like the closest thing.
That's interesting you say that.
Why?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
In what way?
That Inland Empire will give you the closest Twin Peaks fix when it's done.
Well, yeah, because I'm in the same boat as Cameron, because it's like that's a chunk of Lynch that I have has been impenetrable to me, and I do want to understand it. I do want to feel that inside, like you said. So I'm the same way. As soon as Twin Peaks is done, I'm going to try to tackle that one.
Do you think it's an aesthetic thing?
A what?
Do you guys think it's an aesthetic thing?
I think shooting on the Sony PD 150 definitely lends a bit of. God, student film kind of look to it. That doesn't bother me. It's the fact that, okay, some of the cuts seem really off. And when I brought this up to Jennifer Lynch, she actually said to me, yeah, Inland Empire, it really could have used Mary Sweeney's editing.
What? No.
So.
No, that's ridiculous. But okay.
Yeah. Confucius says you can't call yourself a Lynch fan and not watch Mulholland Drive. If anything, Criterion really, really messed up with that Blu-ray, and because one, they didn't correct that 1 second of film. Considering that Mulholland Drive is considered the best film of the 21st century so far, I expect like no problems with that Blu-ray, and yet there's a problem with that Blu-ray in terms of they have a still frame instead of a fade, which really upsets me. They won't go back and fix it apparently, no matter how much I protested them. And disc 2 should have had the original pilot remastered in HD. That's a bump.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Because I mean, I have it, right? But just for the film students out there, who doesn't want to compare and contrast it? I mean,
I've never seen the original pilot.
It's so like the same but different, you know. And it's not like Lynch just took the pilot and then just added a 20-minute ending to it. He molded it, he shaped it, he moved scenes around.
Interesting, yeah, because I thought it was just like you said, a 20-minute coda or whatever, where the pilot just ended and then he added that bit at the end. But I didn't realize it was all reassembled. Right.
Let's see. Francisco put up a tweet on here, which I cannot click on. Can somebody interpret what that tweet is saying so I can read it out loud from Showtime? Oh yeah, Lil Jag 906 says Ray said Evil Coop that Jeffries was at the Dutchman's, so I assume that's where we were tonight.
So that's the official name for the convenience store, is the Dutchman's?
Maybe.
Who's the Dutchman?
It's certainly not Norma's Double R Diner.
There's no pie there. I didn't see any fresh pastries at all.
Now I'm hungry as hell.
Alan says he thinks Judy is Sarah Palmer's alter ego that lives inside of her, and the coordinates Jeffrey gives Mr. C are the ceiling fan. Wow. That's cheers. That's brilliant. That's great. Let's see here. William T. PQ says, isn't the got a light guy the Dutchman? Well, if he is and he shows up, Hal knows what he's got to do. But he wasn't on tonight, so Hal can't give
That's
you that.
right. No, can't do it.
There will be no satisfaction from the God of Light man tonight. Any last comments, guys, before we go?
Can't wait till next week. What's next week's episode title? It's the one about the doorbell, right? Yeah. No knock, no doorbell.
Oh my God. You know what that means? Okay. My prediction, close your ears if you don't want to hear it, but I think it's the TMZ leak. And I don't know. And I don't know how that happens. How does that happen? Right? George says no knock, no doorbell. If what we saw from that TMZ leak.
Whoa,
what?
Chaz is like, no spoilers.
No, but a door opens without, and again, they could have put it in post, but a door opens and without anyone knocking or ringing the doorbell. So
I didn't hear the TMZ leak. I don't even know what that is.
Well, then why are you on this podcast? Every once in a while, we slip out the TMZ leak because
I don't listen.
Because it's so wide. It's so wide knowledge. That's why I bring it up. So,
no,
I'm not discussing it to you.
I'm banning you from what are you at now? .me.
No more bans. No more bans.
I'm flagging you, Cameron. Sorry, I had no. Okay,
we're not going to get in any details. So relax. But how do you think that the TMZ leak, by the way, is from like a year and a half ago?
I have no idea what it is.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm saying to you how we have a week to go. Do you think that TMZ leak is an actual scene, perhaps in reference of this title, or do you think that Lynch and Frost specifically shot that in front of an entire neighborhood to troll us?
Could be a red herring scene because they knew people were starving for tidbits and they threw it out there as a diversion.
Or maybe they did it as a test to see how far leaks would go.
Yeah, to see what they could or couldn't do. And once it took off on fire, they're like, okay, shut it down.
Well, that's the thing. Right after that leak, you didn't hear a peep from them until the show was over.
Right. That's when the, Keep the Mystery Alive campaign started.
Right. All because of that one dude's Periscope video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting, though, because I was reading in
hang on, Hal. Hold that thought. Hold that thought.
Okay.
Lil Jag 906 writes, the Dutchman is a reference to the Flying Dutchman.
See, I was thinking that too, the Flying Dutchman, yeah.
A ship of ghosts that is cursed to travel the seas forever. The woodmen seemed to be ghosts, and it was clear the convenience store teleported. Interesting.
That would make sense. That makes perfect sense because I had the Flying Dutchman in my mind too, but I forgot about the whole mythology of it. It was a ghost ship and stuff. Yeah.
Fascinating. Isn't the Flying Dutchman in like the Pirates of the Caribbean sequel?
Probably incorporated in there.
Chaz is like, I wouldn't stoop low enough to see a Pirates of the Caribbean sequel.
Yeah, I've seen the first one.
That's the good one. That's the one.
I kind of wanted to see the Paul McCartney cameo in the most recent one, but I didn't want to pay just for that.
Well, it's worth it then. Buddy of mine just saw the fifth Sharknado or whatever. I want to watch that.
Oh, I relate to Whitney here. She says during the episode, yes, I do this as well. I constantly check the time to see how much time is left in an episode.
Me too.
But that goes back all the way to fall of 1990 for me. Because
final episode.
Well, no, because that was June of 91. I'm saying I remember looking because like when they were going to reveal who killed Laura Palmer, I remember looking at the clock and it was 10:40, and I was like, they got 20 minutes. What are they going to do? And then they gave us probably the greatest 20 minutes of an episode in history. See, Nov 17.
So episode 8 this season. I'm calling.
What about it?
I think episode 8 this season is the best thing ever on television.
Do you think that is the episode that Showtime will submit to the Emmys?
Ooh, no chance. There's no acting. There's no acting in that. episode.
No, but it could win as an overall, episode thing. So
I never even thought about that.
George says the waitress in the Double R looked a lot like Annie. I didn't notice that. I'm going to have to go back and see that.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Steven says, are the Woodsmen a reference to the secret history woodmen who died in the 20th century during the Great Fire in Twin Peaks from Frost's book?
That's the theory. That
is the theory. Let's see. Bay by the Bay says episode 8 is the pinnacle so far. I don't know if I think it's the peak, and now we're coming down.
I don't know about that. I don't know about coming down. Episode 8 is like Lynch he's like blowing your mind, right?
But it is a turning point, don't you think? In the series.
Oh, well, you know what? It's like a breath, right? So episode 8 happens when everyone is really frustrated. I mean, not me, but most people are frustrated about Dougie and where is this going? And then, boom, here's the origin of Bob, right?
Right.
So everyone loses their mind. And then I don't think it goes down, though. I mean,
I just mean like it's definitely like a I didn't mean it like down, but I just meant like it's going to this moment, and now everything else is there's before part 8 and after part 8. Part 8 seems to like kind of stand alone as a
see that, but then last episode 14 was, I mean, almost just as great
in a different way.
Maybe episode 8 is like, how Lynch always talks about the eye of the duck scene. Maybe that's the eye of the duck part.
Nice.
Yeah. Listen, I'm thankful it was part 8 and not part 18. Because if the Woodsman had walked off into the darkness and we heard the horse go, and then that was the end of the series, I would have been outside running around in my neighborhood screaming at the moon. Not in a good bad way, but just like, ah!
That would have been amazing.
Yeah, I probably would have gone catatonic for about a week. I would have been like, what's her name? Night of the Living Dead. The Romero. I would just been like,
you kind of were like that if you rewatched the instant reaction video.
Yeah, I had a lot of people saying that they rewatched our episode 8 reaction when I posted it up on the new channel just for our reactions of it. They couldn't believe it. And sorry Hal, sorry Chaz, but I have to do some please guys. I have to keep plugging. This is the channel where all the videos are going to be housed from now on. We're using this site and then until my main channel gets its streaming back, and then I'll be using the main channel for streaming and other videos and things like that. But most of the big videos are going to be housed on this platform, so make sure you guys subscribe to this. I think I only have 300 subscribers on this site, but on the main channel I have nearly 2,700. So I would like to maybe get more than that onto the main site, because VidMe is a new up and coming site. It's free to sign up, but it'd be great to be one of the largest channels on this new platform already with, in like the first week. So at least of the first week of me signing up. So yeah, make sure you guys join this site, please. And then you'll be able to access all the videos after they've been published. So, all right. Sorry guys, but I have to pimp that out a little bit because it's such a new thing. So
do it.
Let me say goodbye to both you guys. I've got to run.
All right.
Later, Chaz.
But thank you so much for having me, and good talking to you guys.
All right. Have a good night. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. I'm figuring out.
There you go. And like that, he is far away. All right. So
one thing I missed tonight, I was hoping Phillip Jeffries, the voice of Phillip Jeffries, would say, "Hell, God, baby, damn, no."
Whitney says Peggy Lipton should do a remake of Warren's cherry pie video. Let's see. Confucius says this was definitely a huge breath and thankfully an awesome episode that definitely led into the possible finale if it ever even happens. I don't know. William says Chaz's exit was Twin Peaksy AF. Yeah, definitely that. So anyway, I can't believe how we have 110 people watching us babble. Right now we are broadcasting on an alternative YouTube channel that I use primarily for streaming.
I can't believe there's only 3 hours left.
I can't believe 2 of those hours are in the same night.
Think of that we waited 25 years and then they announced it and it was another 2-year wait. And then they announced the date and then we waited for that May 21st or whatever date to air. And now it's like almost over.
But we had a summer of Twin Peaks.
I know. We really did.
I mean, I'm so grateful that this wasn't just dropped like Netflix.
Me too.
Because we never would have been able to do these videos.
I know, and theorize and stuff just like the original series. Such a beautiful experience.
These videos remind me of like when I was younger and I would, talk on the phone with my friends immediately after the episode. And
me too.
This is the new version of it. Let's get a bunch of friends together and discuss what we just saw. And some people in the comments love to go, that was wrong and this and that. This is again remind you. This is the initial reactions.
We started 30 minutes after the show aired for the first time. So
and that 30 minutes is not used, at least in my case, rewatching elements of it. It's like me something to eat using the bathroom.
Yeah. Go to the bathroom, smoke a cigarette, get a drink, and then start. Exactly. Meanwhile, our heads are going. All the new information.
Okay. November 17th, May 16th. Listen, I hope you're wrong. Or sorry, I hope you're right. I hope I'm wrong. But he's saying season 4, maybe? No, get that out of your head right now.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Let me explain it again for you. This new series was announced in 2014. Frost and Lynch had been working on it for 3 years prior to that. So we're talking 2011 to release in 2017. You're telling me that they're going to turn around and create an entire new season in a year? Not going to happen.
The only hope that I would have would be either a mini series of like 6 or a movie.
Right.
It could be 2-3 hours long.
Like maybe if Showtime agrees to let them come back, once a year with like a 2-hour special or something like that. They have to do something. They have to do something to keep the subscribers, because otherwise it's going to be embarrassing when everybody starts dropping the site en masse.
Mm-hmm. I will be. I mean, I don't really watch anything else on Showtime. Ray Donovan? No.
I haven't even bought the Blu-rays of Ray Donovan, so I'm not, and so I have it for free. I still haven't gone back and watched it all summer. So I'm not, I mean, I love Liev Schreiber, but I've been in the Twin Peaks mood all summer. I mean, people have asked me, hey, what do you think about this movie or this TV show? I've had nothing in my head.
Right.
I can't watch anything else right now. But
no, I'm behind on Game of Thrones. I can't. It's just nothing. I am watching Preacher as it airs, but it flies right out of my brain. I go right back to Peaks.
Yeah, that's the thing. So when Twin Peaks is over, it's going to take a few weeks to come down off that mountain, and then we'll see what happens next from there. But yeah, I'm fascinated. Is the Blu-ray going to be announced right after the series is over?
Why can't we have that for Christmas? I want that in my Christmas stocking.
Hey, Showtime might rush it out, but Lynch, on the other hand, might keep it close to the heart and not release it till next year.
And will there be any deleted scenes? Extras?
Old Lynch, I would have said no. New Lynch, probable.
Mm-hmm.
Because before, I can't remember. Did the Green Box come out before Inland Empire or after Inland Empire? I think after.
I think after too, because it was stuff you were clamoring for. There was no new Lynch.
So the closest we got was the Blue Velvet, not the deleted scenes, but before, when they had like that slideshow of the deleted scenes. Right? Which a lot of those still aren't on the Blue Velvet deleted scenes that they released on the Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a lot missing. But Inland Empire, I think, was like the first one where he released like the deleted scenes, more or less.
Right.
And believe it or not, that thing, the more things that happened, was in the version that played in Poland.
Wow.
So it was one big
5-hour movie.
No, I think it was 4.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, 420 or something like
that. 420, dude. Jerry Horn.
I think I'm high. But Wild at Heart was the next one with or maybe the first one with the lime green box set, which I'm hoping. I can't reveal my sources, but a little bird did tell me that Criterion might be working on Wild at Heart.
Ooh, incorporating the stuff from Lime Green on the Criterion set?
I don't want those scenes in the movie.
No, not in the movie, but included on the Blu-ray.
I sure hope so.
Extras, yeah.
That would be amazing.
Maybe it's time to unload that Lime Green box set that's going for a pretty penny on Amazon.
Oh my Lord! I still don't own that thing. Somebody actually made me a copy of the Wild at Heart deleted scenes so I could have them.
Yeah.
There's no way I was gonna, because I already owned all those movies.
I know, me too, but I still wanted to see the extras. I really wanted to see those deleted scenes. So
yeah,
I bit the bullet. I think I didn't have a couple of things, so it was worth it to me.
But Lynch, for the longest time, did not want to release any deleted scenes. He felt like Kubrick, deleted scenes are, not part of the movie. No one should see them. This and that.
Right, and there's no even chapter stops because he wants you to watch it all the way through. He doesn't want you to skip around the chapters.
But he did. Am I correct in this? I could be wrong, but I think he did with Inland Empire.
Does have chapters on it?
It doesn't have chapters, but if you hit next, it will go to a chapter.
Oh, okay.
Because he said that Inland Empire is a long movie, and it was inconceivable for him to think that people would sit and watch it in one sitting. So there's no chapter stops on the menu, but if you just hit next, it will go to it won't go to the end of the movie like Mulholland Drive.
He doesn't tell you to do it, but you can do it.
Right. Exactly. Whereas other films of his, Dune, Elephant Man, all those movies on the DVD, they do have chapter stops because Universal and Paramount are not going to let Lynch dictate that to them.
Right. But Straight Story doesn't have it, does it?
It doesn't. And listen, that's a movie that needs a Criterion Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
I hope Lynch gets the Wes Anderson treatment on Criterion and just gets all of his films released.
Yeah.
I just want them to go back and fix that 1 second error in Mulholland Drive, and all will be good.
That's fair.
I talked with someone who figured out that that basically that fade was not in the version they were working on and didn't include it in, so they didn't notice it. And it's not the first time the Criterion has messed up David Lynch, because when Eraserhead first got released, they left out an entire shot in Eraserhead. And so they had to go back and reissue it.
Yeah, I had to get my replacement disc on that. Yeah.
Right. And so now if you get Eraserhead, there's something on the back of the box or something that lets you know which, that's the corrected version. I mean, by now they're all corrected, but at the time they had the ones you could identify. But
they did quick service on that too, unlike CBS with the missing pieces that were all sound sync errored.
Did they ever fix it?
Never. They never offered a replacement. They never even acknowledged that it was a problem.
Well, they need to acknowledge several problems with that set. The fact that Al Cave is a completely different color than the original broadcast and the gold box set.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the Blu-ray just completely gets rid of the whole color scheme of the Al Cave sequence.
Now we're getting into thought of the day territory.
Sorry.
We're supposed to be instant reactioning.
Well, we still have 110 people watching, so obviously people are interested. But no, I guess what I was saying was that Lynch of the old never would have included deleted scenes. Now, it's possible. Do you think there's a lot? They had 18 hours.
I don't know. I mean, there's got to be some stuff on the cutting room floor.
It's probably all the stuff like Lost Highway, when they said that Lynch would cut out things in Lost Highway so that things would kind of touch but not really touch. But those deleted scenes helped it touch.
Yeah.
they probably took out a lot of those things so that
maybe there'll just be some extended scenes. Maybe there won't be big deleted chunks because they did have 18 hours to put everything in they wanted to.
And remember,
maybe there's extended scenes.
And remember, every time a Twin Peaks fan complained, David Lynch cut out an Audrey Horne scene.
That's right. It's the opposite of It's a Wonderful Life. The angel, every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings. Right. Every time a Twin Peaks fan complains, they cut another Audrey scene.
Okay. Oiler Diehard says, will they show Jerry back home safe by the end? What do you think, Hal?
I think we got to see what happens to Jerry. Sure.
Yeah. Just so you guys know, at least the last time I checked, Mark Frost's book, The Final Dossier, was going for $13 on Amazon. So if you want to pre-order that, hopefully it's the same price.
And Fire Walk With Me Criterion just dropped in price on Amazon. It went way down. It
went to $25.
That's not bad, though.
It's not bad. It's not bad if you have to have it right away. Otherwise, just wait for the sale and get it for $20.
Well, I nailed it in on the pre-price guarantee thing, because if it drops again, then you'll get the lowest price.
Well, the David Lynch Art Life Criterion Blu-ray that comes out in October, that dropped to $16.99 on Amazon. So that's even better than the Criterion sale.
But the list price of Fire Walk With Me is $50, isn't it? $49.99. And so if you even wait for the half price sale, you're going to get it for $25. Because they go by the list price on the 50% off sale.
It's gonna be $20. They're all $20, except for like the Before Sunrise trilogy and things like that.
Oh well, I'll pay the extra $5 to get it on release date. Got free shipping. So
you need to see the missing pieces and correct audio.
Exactly. That's the main draw for me.
And I'm curious to see what else they're going to add to it, because they said there is going to be more to it. It's not going to just be a repressing of that disc.
Good.
So that's great. And then some people were saying the Fire Walk With Me, I guess on the larger screen you have it, they said it doesn't look as great as it could. So having it on, with the 4K transfer, even though it's not 4K disc, will probably improve it even more.
Good deal.
Yeah. When's Criterion going to release Twin Peaks: The Return? That would be a killer box set.
I wish they would announce that, as soon as Part 18 airs, they should announce it the next day.
Right. And I don't believe I wish I believed it, but the conspiracy theorists out there that Lynch and Frost have already shot season 4.
And that'd be great. Wouldn't that be a nice surprise?
Well, that would be one way for Showtime to keep their subscribers.
Yeah. Well, you can unsubscribe and subscribe pretty easily. So I'd unsubscribe and then resubscribe.
That's funny. All right, let's take some last questions and then we're out of here.
Okay.
Let's see. George says the whole 3 more episodes feeling is really unnerving.
So we got confirmation that the 17 and 18 are just going to be the 2-hour block. It won't be longer, right? Because it's at one point you were saying they might be 90-minute episodes, so it'd be a 3-hour block. I don't know. Did we get confirmation one way or the other?
No, it's a 2-hour.
It will be 2 hours. Okay.
Yeah. Twin Peaks Outside the City Limits writes, great to see you and Hal back live, Cameron. We need the post show. Thank you very much. We've obviously, I'm sure you noticed, we are not on the main channel, so we've had to find ways around it. Again, if you guys are interested in seeing the final videos and other videos that we've done over this season, because I'm sure there's a lot of new viewers.
You hold it up and I'll read it.
Okay, you read it. Let's see.
All right, so it's https://vid.me/obnoxious and anonymous. So it's vid.me/obnoxious and anonymous, all spelled out.
Right. So if you guys want, subscribe to the main channel. Yeah, sorry, I'm just fixing it here. Subscribe to the main channel, on YouTube, Obnoxious Anonymous, because we're going to do a lot of the live streams there once my live stream comes back in a couple months or so. But the videos will be primarily housed on this site, just because I don't trust YouTube anymore. With their adpocalypse that happened this week, and the fact that they're just ripping videos down at their will, just they don't like the content or someone complains and they side with them instead of the content creator. It's time for the content creators to go someplace that actually respects the creator, as opposed to YouTube that respects the watcher more than the person who made it. And at least these people at VidMe, you got a question or comment, they give you a phone number and an email to contact, which is something Google and YouTube will never do. So please subscribe to this channel to support us and also this platform. I think this is going to be a pretty awesome thing. So there it is. Okay. Everyone's saying, wow, Bob, wow. George Ray says it is a 2-hour block on September 3rd. And yeah, November 17th says, I can't watch any other shows on TV. They all seem so mundane after watching Twin Peaks. See, I agree.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, but Oiler Diehard says he subscribed to the VidMe account when he figured that's where I went. Yes, that is where I have gone to run and hide to.
It's like you subscribe to Showtime to watch Twin Peaks, subscribe to VidMe to watch these videos.
Yes, but unlike Showtime, stay on my channel. Don't unsubscribe after the show is over, because Twin Peaks discussions will continue. Yes. I've been doing these Twin Peaks discussions since 2012 online. They're not going anywhere. I probably won't be doing 4 of them a week like I've been doing all summer long. But the discussions will continue, as well as other discussions about other movies and TV shows and news stuff, you know, entertainment news, that kind of thing. And obviously the more the merrier, because I love discussions. So Mr. Schmidt says this episode was so amazing. Yes, it definitely was. I agree.
Really was a good one.
It was great. And I think it's just going to keep going from here. There's no way it's going to slow down.
No. Yeah, the payoffs are going to be coming fast and furious at this point.
Right. Oiler Dyer says, you can tell VidMe you are welcome when they see a big spike in signups. Let me tell you something. I've been on the platform 3 days now. My videos, I only have 34 of them up. The videos have already hit over 5,000 views. I have about, like, last time I looked, I'm sure it's gone up since then, but last time I looked, I had about 300 subscribers, which obviously there's bigger channels and stuff on there, but a lot of the ones that they considered the big and featured channels have about that or less than that and less views. And they've been on that platform for a long time. So in 3 days, you know, I mean, it's no wonder that in 2 days my channel got verified as an official account. And they saw how many people were signing up and leaving comments and how many views the channel was getting. You know, what was something that's supposed to take a week, if that, maybe they have some questions, some back and forth. I mean, it was just like, boom, checklist, you're verified. Let's rock and roll. So
yeah, it was episode 8 initial reaction. I think there was 17,000 views on YouTube. So it'd be great if all those people had come over to vid.me.
Yeah. Like I said, there's a lot of support over there for content creators. So if you are someone who does YouTube or makes videos, you might want to check out their platform. It's YouTube before Google took over. And here's something I didn't know, Hal, until I signed up, but Alice Lynch has a channel on her over there as well, and her stuff is mesmerizing. It's very David Lynchian.
Yeah, I watched a couple of those. I saw that she had cut up her episode that she did with you and made a little video, and then that led me to her channel and watched some other stuff. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah.
Oh, is it Payne Osha says HBO has the distribution rights here, which might be why the Blu-ray has been announced here and not elsewhere. Oh, has there been a Blu-ray announced in another country or something? Maybe. Yeah, George says, I plan on making some videos on VidMe as soon as I get my camera back. Scooby D says, yes, Alice Lynch's stuff on VidMe is amazing. You guys really need to check it out. Yes, it's very cool. Denny says, can't wait for next week. Gonna watch this again in an hour. Well, enjoy it. Mr. Schmet says the picture and sound here is better than VidMe, no doubt. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I watch it on a computer. It seems about the same. They do. If you are verified, you're supposed to have an HD quality picture, or at least it should process to that eventually. So we'll wait and see. I mean, you know, a lot of these videos are on YouTube. I just don't make them available to people. But believe me, after the way YouTube's been treating me all summer, I have backup videos everywhere of all these things. Because to me, this is like, I understand, you know, people think, oh, you guys are just talking about TV shows, you know, it's a Twin Peaks instant reaction or whatever it is. But to me, these are time capsules, Hal. You know?
They are. Yeah. I mean, wouldn't you love to have your instant reaction videos from the original series? Had that existed back then, wouldn't that be fun to look back on?
Right. Panacia says HBO has the rights to the series in Norway. So that's why the Blu-ray has been announced over there.
Well, at least we know it's coming then.
It will be there. Yeah, and Euler Diehard says the quality of VidMe looked about the same to me. Yeah, it does to me too, but I don't know. Maybe you're watching it on a different app or a different way. I don't know. I just know that the videos are protected there, and that's what matters to me. I want to protect the time capsule that was these Twin Peaks videos and other videos I do, because there's other stuff I do too, and I don't just talk about Twin Peaks every second of the day. Although that would be amazing.
My girlfriend thinks I do.
Maybe before the final episode. I don't know. See, I would be insane, but it'd be great to do sort of like a 12-hour like leading up video. You know?
Oh, that'd be badass. I know. I wish we could be live for the finale, do a before and after, and just like 24 hours of Twin Peaks chat, you know, with just a break for the episode itself, and then come right back on.
Well, we can. I mean, we'd have to do it on an alternative channel, not on the main channel, which is a shame.
Yeah,
because I'll never forget when we did the episode 8 instant reaction. I mean, we had like
500 people. Yeah,
500 people in the chat
with us, because that's part of the fun that we can feed back. Like you said, it would be great if we could take phone calls. You know,
George, I will not do a live watch reaction of the finale. I don't know. I'm not going to film myself watching the episode. No. Then I'm camera conscious and trying to watch the show and take notes on it. No. It's not happening.
No, that's that time when it originally airs is sacrosanct, man. That is like a sacred space that you make, and you watch it, and then you talk about it afterwards.
My wife knows to speak about 3 words to me during that whole hour.
Yeah.
Scooby D says the more subscribers VidMe gets, the more content they'll probably provide. Hopefully, live videos with chats at some point. Bye YouTube. You know what I think? What it is, honestly, is that YouTube is squeezing out a lot of the smaller channels because they want bigger channels, you know, and they want to take over with the YouTube TV thing. They don't want people with 5,000 to 10,000 subscribers. You know, I don't think they want those people on their platform, so they're squeezing them out in many ways. But listen. George Ray says, just film your reaction and post that later, like the vlog lady. No, that's
too distracting when the episode airs to do that.
Well,
I mean, I like her reaction vids, but I couldn't do it. No, I want to immerse in the show itself.
And honestly, as somebody who does videos, I'm not gonna do that because I know that she does.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's her shtick.
That's her shtick. I'm not trying to impose my stuff, like doing the same thing as hers. I respect the fact that a lot of the Twin Peaks YouTubers out there or podcasts out there kind of each tackle this from a different subject, and that makes it interesting for a lot of people. Because if we all did the same thing, then why watch us all?
Yeah.
Mr. Smet says, why go to VidMe when you made this new channel where everything works? Because it's only a matter of time before this happens here on this channel. You know, if it hasn't happened to you know, other YouTubers yet, it's just a matter of time.
You did nothing wrong on these videos to have them flagged and pulled down, and you threatened you to take your channel down and all that. So it's ridiculous.
And they suspended me until this morning when they said, "Oh, we're sorry, we made a mistake." Yeah, you made a mistake, and now I realize that you ultimately don't support me.
Right.
So,
and it's a crucial time with the content of these videos. Twin Peaks is airing. It's only going to air live once,
Exactly. So anyway, but anyway, all right, guys, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, we should say thanks for the laughs, Jerry Lewis, man. Had to throw that in there.
Okay. My question to you is, how soon is it announced that Criterion's releasing the day that
the clown cried? Well, he said once he donated it to the Smithsonian, he said, wait 10 years.
How about wait 10 weeks?
Now that he's dead. Screw Jerry, we want to see it.
Hey, my co-host in crime, Joey Pedris, is in the chat. He's saying I missed these live chats. So do I. I really didn't think that a lot of people would be on this one tonight, but I tweeted out the link, or not tweeted. I posted the link in the on the main channel, the main YouTube channel. It's so confusing how many channels I have at this point. It's ridiculous.
It'll all get consolidated eventually.
Yeah. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, Joey Pedris and I did a Twin Peaks Thought of the Day earlier this week. I thought it was a great discussion. I posted it on YouTube. I went to bed. I woke up in the morning. YouTube hit me with a 2-week suspension, and I couldn't. And after that, I wouldn't be able to post a new video longer than 15 minutes for about 8 months. So thank you, YouTube channel. Although YouTube did contact me this morning and say, no, we made a mistake. We're sorry, and they took my channel back to the way it was earlier in the week. So I still can't do live streaming, hence why we're here. Let's see. It's insane. Nicholas says, has anyone talked about Jeffries' numbers? Their latitude lines up with Electric City, Washington, just south of a reservation home to Nez Perce.
That's a good catch.
I'm sure this is going to be discussed on the threads as
Hutch and Chantel talked about, that they were talking about, the killing that the government did, and look what we did to the Native Americans. They were using that. So that's got to factor into why all this stuff is happening in Twin Peaks. It's because of the atrocities to the Native Americans.
Right. Well, that's a great catch, Nicholas. And the fact that it keeps coming back to, it's all about your heritage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it can't just be, Hawk's heritage is the bathroom stall sign. Let's see. Okay. Well, I guess that's pretty much it, guys. The chat has slowed down, which is probably a good thing because we've gone over 2 hours now. All right, Hal. So let's wrap this up. Great episode. We got part, what is it, 16 next week?
Part 16, no knock, no doorbell, right?
Oh, my Lord. It's almost over, Hal.
Unbelievable.
You said you cried 3 times a night. I don't even know what I'm going to... I mean, listen, I the first, half hour of the final podcast, because we're going to be discussing both episodes.
Wow.
We might be still and silent for 20 minutes or so if it ends as powerfully as some of these other episodes.
Indeed. Yeah.
Because it's not just one episode ending, it'll be the culmination of everything ending.
Everything. We'll have all the jigsaw puzzle pieces finally.
Well, not all of them.
Well, there'll always be more in our heads, and ultimately they're all in David Lynch's head.
Do you think it's going to end with the woodsman looking at the camera saying "got a light" and then him flicking his lighter, and the one it claps down, it goes to black, and that's the end. Maybe
it'll be somebody giving him the light in his cigarette.
Yeah, somebody should have lit a cigarette by now. Yeah, I thought it was a great episode. I just think we're full steam ahead at this point.
Yeah, we are.
I just want Audrey to get the hell out of that house and find out what's going to happen to her.
Me too. Yeah, that's one of the biggest mysteries right now. And I want to see Leland. And I want to see Laura.
Or at least Cheryl Lee.
Yeah.
Besides her picture showing up in the opening credits.
Yeah.
Well,
she flew away somewhere, so yeah. Laura's still there somewhere.
I gotta tell you, Cheryl Lee, she's the luckiest actress in Hollywood right now, getting paid every part for just the opening credits.
Right.
What a lucky woman.
Indeed. It was like Bates Motel when Norma is dead, so she basically has to sit there and be dead. She gets the paycheck.
Spoiler alerts, how
Oh,
some of
well,
us have not
like
seen
we don't
Psycho.
know that Mother's Dead and Psycho came out in 1960.
Mother is never gone.
Right.
So, all right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. We've gone almost 2 hours and 20 minutes tonight for this initial reaction. So it's going to be a while before it's uploaded to the VidMe account, but it will be up there tonight. Thank you guys for watching, and make sure to subscribe to our channels, and we will see you next time. Take care, everybody. Bye.